Hey guys, welcome to Play It Safe. I'm Muir, where I'm going to be telling you about all the video games that have come up in recent 2013. Basically, just going to be going over the ones, basically the highlights and ones that you can probably save your money on. So the first one that we're going to start off with is Dead Space 3. Now, the third installment of the Isaac Clarke series is basically you're going to the planet where the necromorphs, your enemies, are basically centered. And the whole point of this is to basically have an epic conclusion to the game. So we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of this game. And some of the pros are that the first half of the game is really good. Like, the first half was basic Dead Space. You're going around dark corridors in really old spaceships, and it's really terrifying. But then the second half of the game is kind of a con, because you go down to the planet where they are originating from, and it kind of loses its essence as a Dead Space game. It's too open. It's not terrifying anymore, and it is a pro and a con, because the terrain is actually really fun to walk around, but it does take away a little bit because it is far too open and you can plan everything out a little too easily. Another one of the pros is that the action is just phenomenal.
We're coming in too hot. Give me a course correction.
The plates are shaking loose. We're dropping like a rock.
Oh, shit.
The set pieces that they use are huge, and the action is very well choreographed. And like the very last scene is huge, and it just makes it so much better. But the con about that is that the action kind of takes over, and you're not left with a sense of horror, which the first two games, they left you with a really good sense of horror. And when you put too much action into the games, you actually take away from the horror part of it, and it makes it to where it's just kind of just an action movie. And that was one of the cons of that. Another one of the pros is the new enemies. So they pop out from the ice and stuff like that, and a few new necromorphs to deal with, and a couple of new guns to work with. The bad thing about that is that some of the new enemies can pop out of the ice, and you can like shoot them from 100 yards away, and it's just not terrifying at all. And then another one of the cons is that the story is just too forced. There's a love triangle in there that just did not need to be in a horror game. The ending was a little bit unrewarding, because it doesn't really wrap it up as well as you might have wanted. So overall, the game itself was good, but you can probably save your money on it. Maybe wait for a cheaper copy. It's definitely not the highlight of the year, not game of the year, but it is a pretty good game to start with if you're looking for gaming, or if you're a huge gamer or something like that. Now, the next game that we have up is Tomb Raider. The reboot of the series Tomb Raider from all the original PlayStation 2 games was highly anticipated this year. The return, they basically remade Lara Croft into this amazing like CGI character with a lot of emotion in the character. They completely redid her to where she's about 19 years old. It's her first encounter with anything like her older series was, and it basically just reboots it in a way that it makes her character more believable as a human being.
A famous explorer once said that the extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are. I'd finally set out to make my mark, to find adventure. But instead, adventure found me.
And one of the pros for this game is that the story is just very well written. You start out, you have no idea what you want to do in life. You just kind of get thrown into this island, and you basically just have to become a survivor. And the thing about that is that once you get thrown into the world, the island, you immediately just start taking pain like crazy. That's the one of the only cons of this game, is that Lara Croft can take an inhuman amount of pain and just walk away from it. In the very first 10 minutes of the game, you get a piece of rebar through the like kidney area. And you just kind of tear it out, patch it up, move on. It's just like, I'm probably gonna call BS on that. The other thing that is a really good pro for this game is the action. The set pieces are enormous, and the action is just phenomenal.
Kill them all!
It slowly drifts in and out of all the action. You go from surviving wolves to running away from a plane that's crashing down into the island. The ending to this game was probably the best iconic thing that they could do for the series, without spoiling anything, obviously. Another pro for this game is that the replay value is enormous. You can go through this game 100 times, do different things. Your upgrade system, the upgrade system was phenomenal. It was inspired by Batman Arkham City and Asylum, basically where you get all these guns first off, and then you can upgrade them, which really worked for the game. And then you start to become more and more of a survival artist from it. And then the other thing that was a really good pro about this game was that me going into this game, I forgot that it was actually an M-rated game. I thought it was a T-rated game like Uncharted, which is not too violent, a little bit of blood, a lot of action. But the thing about this is that it is a hard M-rated game. There is a lot of language, a lot of blood. It actually shocked me the first time I pulled out a shotgun and actually ripped a person in half. And then when you're blowing up a building, people are swearing at you left and right. Like, how the crap did she get a machine gun and she's blowing up God knows what. And then the other thing that was kind of a con of this game is that the character development is a little too fast. Like, you start out, you have no idea how to survive. You're just basically going with the motion. And then the first time you actually kill a person, it's really emotional. Like, you can see that it is tearing the character apart. And like 5 minutes after that, you're already just mowing down people with a machine gun and doing whatever you want. But overall, this game was absolutely phenomenal. It is a great revamp of the series. I highly recommend it. If you're definitely looking for one of the Game of the Years, this is definitely one of the top games of the year. The next game that we are going to be talking about is God of War Ascension. Now, this is actually the 6th installment of Kratos' Journey series. If you're not familiar with the prequels, most people aren't. We did 1, 2, and 3, and then we had a couple of different games that were made for the PSP and stuff like that that they actually re-released on PlayStation. But the first 3 games of the God of War series are phenomenally good. This one is, it didn't really need to happen. This game, it was really unbelievably violent, which is always good. That's a great pro for this game. It's just violence and a button mashing game that you can just dive into.
You leave an army in disarray. Return to us, General.
You don't really need a lot of experience with the series. Like if you are just starting out with Kratos' series, then this is a good game to start out with, because the story is, for the most part, it's really forgettable, unfortunately. It is probably the most unmemorable journey that we put Kratos in. You have to fight the three sisters of fate, I believe, and then you have to fight each three of them. It only takes about 10 hours to get through the campaign, which is unfortunate. For the most part, the set pieces are really cool, but they are also really forgettable, and you get all the enemies that you get from God of War 3, and a couple of new ones that are actually a lot of fun to fight. The other thing that's also always a pro in these games are the magic attacks, and each one of the games has a different one, and these ones you upgrade them gradually and they are just brutal. Another thing that is a pro is that the finale. The finale was really good, really solid. Good build-up, really good finale, but the first two sisters, it was kind of mediocre. But there was more cons to this game than pros. The story is just, it's like I said, is unmemorable. And after the game's over, you kind of forgot like the entire story, because it doesn't leave an imprint on you like God of War 3 did. In God of War 3, like you kill like all the huge gods like Poseidon and Hades, and then you finally get to Zeus, which you can't forget about that in the series. It's just so memorable. But this one, you just don't care about the people that you're fighting. And it was just kind of a letdown for the story. It was actually a really big step back for the series. God of War 3 was such an epic finale that we were all expecting something huge, and it was just kind of fell flat. Another thing was that it was just too short. You finish this game, honestly, I think I finished it in like 9.5 hours, which is a lot to spend for $60. I haven't played the online, but I heard it's actually not very memorable either, which is also a letdown, because this is the first game of the series that actually has online play. So overall, the game, you can easily skip this one. You can you can rent it, and probably, or maybe wait for quite a while until it's like $20, because overall the game, it was very violent. It was very well set pieced and all that, but the story was just unmemorable, and it was honestly Kratos' worst journey so far. So the next game that we have up is Gears of War Judgement. Now this game was kind of unexpected, since the original trilogy was it was actually really good. Gears of War 2 is obviously the best of all the series. 3 was kind of hit or miss for people. The ending was a little bit tacky, and the writing was not very good. This game actually surprised me a little bit, because you are playing as Baird, which is a completely separate character from the original series. You get a whole new team. You get a lot of new stuff, which is very, very good. One of the pros of this game is that you're playing as Barrett. He's the sarcastic idiot that repairs everything. That you don't really see him as a hero in the first 3, but in this series, you really do see his human side, and you see that he has consideration for everybody, which is a really good thing. Another one of the pros is that you get a lot of new fun toys to play with, a lot of new guns, a lot of new challenges.
You as the player can trigger optional challenges that unlock declassified testimony to learn how these missions really went down. These challenges truly modify the game, encouraging you to use specific weapons, fight more aggressive enemies, or introduce something totally new, guaranteed to make your palms sweat. I can do that all day! Conquering declassified challenges is key to earning a 3-star ranking at the end of every mission. More stars means more unlocks, including new characters, armor skins, and something special that, well, you'll just have to wait till March to find out.
One of the best parts of this game is that we had the creators of Bulletstorm taken over for this one, and they introduced a lot of new challenges. Challenges were amazing. Like every mission that you start, you get an option whether you can make it more challenging, like use only a certain amount of guns, or you got stuff coming into your face that you can't see, or you have a time limit. And it was all really well done. Another thing was the graphics were phenomenal. It was even a step up from Gears of War 3. I thought it was just going to be just around Gears of War 3 level, but it actually improved it. It made it less like glitchy. It seemed really smooth all the way through, and the action was just... The online play is another pro.
New dynamic encounters will see you and Kilo stopping to hold the line against waves of uglies. It's gonna get heated. Think defensively. Fight, fortify, and survive. Turret is up! You gotta protect those turrets at all costs. Once they're gone, there's no way to bring them back. And make sure you choose a good choke point when you lay them down.
We do get rid of Horde mode, but we do get survival mode in this series, which is a lot of fun. Survival mode, you actually have to protect your generator, and you work as a team to fight off hordes of locusts, which is really fun. It's actually a big improvement on all of the online play from the original series. And then another pro is that you get a lot of new bad guys to fight, like we see is the Hulker, which is a lot of fun. You just randomly piss him off, and he just hulks out and he just charges at you, and he's a lot of fun to just mess with. Another one of the pros is that it's actually a better story than number 3 was. I mean, it was really well put out. The bad guy was pretty cool.
All these lovely monsters take orders from General Khan, maybe the most dangerous locust we've ever faced.
And you actually honestly really care for the team that you're actually being a part of. Some of the cons was that it was way too short. The campaign was about 9 hours long, and it needed to be a lot longer. Basically, what I wanted from this one was for it to last a lot longer, like 10 hours longer, because you really got to care for these characters, and it just fell short. I got to the end, I'm like, oh, that's it? And then the other con to this game is that this is another example of how Gears of War doesn't really build up their bad guys too well. I think the best bad guy that we had was the Queen in the number 2. This bad guy was not built up very well. I mean, he was built up very well, but he really fell short in the end. You make him out to be just a godlike bad guy, and he just falls short in the end. You just beat him so easily, and it's really unsatisfying to fight him in the end. The other con was that it didn't tie into the original series. I assume that they are going to do another one, probably 3 of them. It didn't tie into the Gears of War 1 at all. I'm hoping that we see a follow-up to this one because I enjoyed the crap out of it. Basically, if you really love the Gears series, definitely pick this one up. If you picked up 3 for $60, buy this one. This one was awesome. And then, so the next game, which I'm really excited about, is Bioshock Infinite. Now, this game we have been looking forward to for a couple years now. It is a complete revamp of the Bioshock series while also keeping it original. We take the original concept of going from the underwater city of Rapture, which is such a phenomenal city, and basically you are put into this new city called Columbia, and it's a city above the sky. And the thing about this game was there is so many pros to this game, I honestly couldn't think of any cons. The pros obviously are going to be the graphics. The graphics are phenomenal. Every art design is just beautifully made. The characters, they're just all thought out, and all of the AIs that you see in the game are very well put together. Another one of the pros is the story. Obviously, the Bioshock series does really well with creating a rich and awesome story, and this one does not strain from the original series. It is I honestly, through half of the game, I was like, which is the better game?
Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt. That was the deal. The details elude me now. But the details wouldn't change a damn thing.
Another one of the pros is just going around and exploring the world. You go from Rapture, you kind of don't get that sense of exploration. You're kind of in a confined space, so you don't really get to explore a lot. But in this one, you do get to go out and you get to wander around, you get to talk to random people, and it's just a lot of fun to just go around and just stare at all the sights that you get to look at, and it was just so much fun just walking around. Another one of the pros is that you get a new character in this game named Elizabeth, who is just the best AI I've ever seen in a video game.
Could use a friend right now!
What is that?
It's terror. Something I can bring into this world.
I don't really understand what I just saw back there, but it sure as hell looks like a shortcut to getting us killed.
Mr. DeWitt? I think we've got trouble. Catch!
That'll do!
She responds to everything, and she is essential to combat and the story. She helps you out, she gives you health, she gives you ammo. It's just a lot of fun to watch her, and you just really start to care for her towards the end of the game. And you just want to be helpful to her as much as she is to you. Another thing that is a really good pro is the new vigors. You get this vigor, which basically a vigor is when you shoot magic out of your hands, which sounds weird. But this one, you get this one called Bucking Bronco, which is probably my favorite. Or the crows, which is a lot of fun. You just throw a lot of crows at people and they start eating people. Or you do the Bucking Bronco and you launch them into the air and then electrocute them or light them on fire.
What's this?
What's going on?
That wasn't no sample.
It's a lot of fun to play with those and then shoot them, and you get a lot of things in your arsenal that are just a lot of fun to play with.
One thing I've learned, if you don't draw first, you don't get to draw at all.
You're a killer, Booker! Like it or not!
Another thing that is a really good pro is the new enemies. We get this enemy called the Handyman, which is basically like a Big Daddy from the original Bioshock. They are very hard to beat, and they are very fun to run away from, honestly. They really hurt you a lot. And then another pro is the sound design. It's just so beautifully made. Every sound is crystal clear, every voice is crystally heard, and it's just a lot of fun to hear, put your headphones on and just go into this world, and you just completely get immersed in this game. The only thing that I can think of was for cons is that it is basically a huge sidestep from the original series. You just go straight from Rapture all the way into the sky. which is not a bad idea, but it does tie into the end, going back into Rapture. You do tie into the original story a little bit, which is, for story's sake, I'm not going to spoil it, but it is really good. The only other con that I could think of is that in the original series, you could carry up to 8 guns, which was ridiculous and unbelievable, but I liked it. You could pause the game, pick which gun you wanted, and then fire away. But in this game, you only get 2 guns at a time. You have to pick carefully which one you want, and ammo is actually pretty scarce towards the end of the game, so it is a lot of challenge, and you have to use your vigors, and you just have to basically become a strategist in this game, which is a lot of fun. So overall, these games, most of them were really good, and if you're looking for like the best games of 2013 so far, I definitely recommend Bioshock and Tomb Raider. Those ones I would give probably a 10 out of 10, hands down. For Gears fans, definitely go for Gears. God of War, you can probably stay away from. Dead Space, if you want a good epic finale to the trilogy. Basically, if you want a lot of a good story, you're going to definitely want to go for Bioshock. Bioshock, you get a lot of good story, you get a lot of good action set pieces, really great sound, a lot of music, and it's basically one of the best rides you'll have this year. And then also Tomb Raider, definitely pick up Tomb Raider. It is a great revamp of the series. You really won't want to miss this one, because once the series is getting kicked off, they're going to be starting with more, and you're going to miss the first one, and it's going to be a huge letdown. But other than that, God of War, stay away from that one, probably. Maybe if you're just starting out with the series, definitely go for that one. It's not a really satisfying story, and it's really short, unfortunately. Gears of War Judgment is really short, but it is really satisfying to do the online play, and the story is actually pretty good. And then Dead Space 3. Dead Space 3, if you want a really good finale to a series, this is probably not the best ending to a series, but you should still pick it up. The set pieces are great. The action is phenomenal. In the beginning of the game, you have a lot of really Dead Space classic type of horror, and you really start to lose it towards the middle. But overall, definitely top 10 is Bioshock, Tomb Raider. Go buy those, and we'll see you next time.